Okay, in this tutorial we're going to be discussing probably the most exciting part of your internet business, which is getting your website up. Now there are a couple of things that we've talked about that you need to do before you get your website up. Primarily get a domain name and a hosting account, find out what you're going to sell and do some research. But most people at that point will just dive right into building and designing their website. What we're going to be discussing in this section is how to research your competitors, come up with a plan, and then once you've laid out your website on paper, we'll show you how to go out and actually build that website. Most business owners say on the internet jump right into website design and building without doing the research, and this key step is what's going to help you be very successful. So first of all, we want to talk about the wow factor. When you first arrive at a site, stop to think about the most basic of terms. Don't look at specific products or prices, just consider the overall feel that you get from the site. Are you impressed by a clean design? Are you turned off by clutter or outdated styles? Think about how you could achieve a similar effect or avoid it if you don't like it. Does the website grab your attention, hold it, and then draw you in? Do you see the homepage and want to know more? If you find a website that holds your interest or attention for more than a few seconds, ask yourself why. On the other hand, if you get to a website and immediately want to hit the back button, ask yourself again, why? Always be looking for what is out there. Here's some examples. I want you just to look at these two websites. The first website, don't look at what they're selling, but more importantly, just look at your first impression. Does it look easy to navigate? Do you trust this website? Here's another website selling a completely different product. Landing on this website, how easy would it be to find what you're looking for? How credible and how safe and secure do you feel shopping on this site? Ask yourself, which would you prefer? Next, we want to talk about clarity. When you arrive on a site's homepage, you should have the same confident feeling that you get when you're looking at a well-drawn map. You should know exactly what's there, and it should be very clear how to navigate to get what you want. If you're uncertain about the sales or the site's focus or organization, you can be fairly certain that others are feeling the same way. When you get beyond the initial confusion, start thinking about why this website makes you feel the way you do. Are the categories organized well? Do large section headers make it easy to get a quick overview of the site's purpose? Or do you find that certain aspects of the design actually make it harder to locate what you need? We all have been on websites where there's so much going on and we get easily lost. There's a melting pot of random information and no clear direction on what the website's owner would like us to do or like us to see, and even more importantly, like us to buy. Most people on the internet are not impulsive. We typically don't go online just to see what's out there. Rather, we go online searching for something specific, and in most times, something specific to buy. Show people specifically looking for your product or service how to find it on your website, and you'll be very, very successful. Now let's talk about product selection. First of all, when you go to a website, you want to take notes of what products are being promoted heavily by your competition. If you both sell drum sets and they're promoting Pearl brand sets most heavily, this could indicate that they sell very well for them. That simple piece of information could then allow you to save yourself the time and expense of experimenting with other brands or models on your most valuable screen real estate. Of course, it is important to remember that this method is not infallible. It's very possible that they were putting extra effort into the promotion because they received a special discount from the manufacturer. It's also possible that their market is slightly different than yours, and the same product may not perform as well for you as for them. Even still, it's better than starting randomly. Always be testing. Once you have a product on your website, change the places you display it. Try other brands and track results. Remember that products can cycle. What is popular today might not be popular tomorrow, so be prepared to change your product lines often. Even if you think the site will provide the best user experience ever, you can't ignore the fact that pricing matters. Look at the prices your competitors charge for the items you wish to sell. Be sure that you compare the items in your assessment, as you couldn't expect to sell off-brand suits for the same prices that might be commanded for Armani suits. If you've already gotten pricing information from your drop shippers or wholesalers, compare that information against what you see on competing sites. Is there enough room for you to charge a healthy markup and earn a profit? In many cases, you'll find that existing competitors have already driven the price down to the point where it may not be particularly profitable for anyone. If most of the items you wish to sell have this problem, your store is doomed before you ever open. Don't ignore the findings at this stage. Remember that pricing is another great thing to test. Pricing low may attract new buyers, but discourage other buyers who might perceive the quality as inferior. Raising your prices might eliminate some sales, but attract other buyers who associate high price with high quality. Test prices along with running sales to identify what price point nets you the greatest financial return. Next, you'll want to focus on what keywords they market with. Keywords are the foundation of search engine marketing and optimization. Your choice of keywords can make or break your business. Although you'll probably find hundreds of great keywords over time, checking out your competitors' keywords can be a great way to see what they've found profitable. Using a keyword analysis tool, you can scan pages on a competitor's website to see which keywords they've decided to target for that particular page. This tool will examine and talk about in another lesson, and it'll help you discover the keywords in the meta tags and which phrases are used most frequently. You can do this manually, but the results are less precise and much more time consuming. On our website, in the toolbox, we have access to a keyword analysis tool for free. You can also go to www.spyfu.com if you'd like to access the tool there. Or you can also go to www.keywordspy.com. Keep in mind that these websites are also listed out in detail on the resources lesson at the end of this section. Now, let's go ahead and examine some of these tools. If you look at SpyFu, this is their results for 1-800-Flowers.com. As you can see, it'll show you what keywords they're using, the daily spend and how much they're spending in their advertising. The same for KeywordSpy.com results for 1-800-Flowers. Those are kind of what the tools look like and how they act on the back end and the information that they can gather. Most of the time, clients will use the free keyword tool that we provide, and if you happen to get up to where you're spending $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month in advertising, these tools might come in handy for analyzing your competitors. Now let's talk about some of these tools in more depth. With SpyFu, you can enter in either a keyword or the URL of a competitor to receive detailed statistics on their ads, the amount they pay, how well they rank in search engines, and the names of their top competitors. Although the data is occasionally incomplete, their basic results are free, and you'll nearly always get a few good ideas from your queries. KeywordSpy.com has a similar tool, which we just showed you, with a paid version that includes additional convenience features. For even more detailed analysis, you can look at Trillion Competitive Intelligence. Competitive Intelligence allows you to subscribe to the domains of your competitors to receive highly detailed reports on their advertising, traffic sources, keyword rankings, and affiliate partners. If you've ever found yourself looking at the competition in Google, you can also relax. There's a much simpler way to find the latest news of their activities. By using free Google Alerts tool, you can arrange to be notified by email whenever your competitor is mentioned on a new website. It's also a great way to ensure that you're updated when someone else mentions your site too. Just be sure to arrange alerts on several variations of each company name, or you'll be missing out on a lot of the latest updates. If your competitor were a company like Uncommon Goods, you could arrange alerts for Uncommon Goods as one word, Uncommon Goods as two words, and uncommongoods.com to make sure that you don't miss anything. Similarly, you can use an RSS reader like Google to subscribe to various feeds related to your business or your competitor's business. If you visit Bloglines, Blogdigger, or iceRocket, you can run a search on your competitor and then look for the subscribe to the search RSS button. When you click on the button, you'll be able to add the feed to your favorite feed reader and receive automatic updates whenever something new is posted. You can also track traffic and user data. If you need data on another sales traffic levels or user demographics, you can use the free tools at quantcast.com and compete.com. While the exact figures are not always accurate, they generally provide a good estimate when you use them to compare one site to another. With Compete, you can enter up to 3 domains at a time and see a comparative traffic chart and a list of keywords that drive traffic to the domain. Here's an example of Quantcast for BMW USA, and then here's Compete.com with a results of BMW USA versus MB USA, which is Mercedes-Benz USA's website. So you can compare on Quantcast site. You can just look at a specific domain. You can also do domain searches. If you'd like to know whether other ventures your competitors are involved in, you can use tools like domaintools.com. By simply entering a domain into their search, you'll be able to find out who owns the website, where he or she is located, and what other sites are hosted on the same server. If your competitor has a dedicated server, this could uncover a number of other businesses he or she may be running. Unfortunately, if your competition has used private registration for his or her domain, you won't be able to learn quite as much. This is kind of what Domain Tools looks like. You can also, if you go to Google or Yahoo and type a link in front of the domain name, it'll show you all of the websites that are linking to that website. And figuring out who your competition is linking to is simple and free, and it's also potentially very profitable. By checking out sites who are willing to link to your competitor's site, you may also find websites willing to link to your site as well. You'll also be able to check out which part of the site they liked, linked to, and also find out what they liked enough to include on their page. For example, you may find that dozens or hundreds of pages are linking to your competitor, not because of the storefront itself, but because of some added resource they've included on their page for the purpose of getting more traffic and publicity. If that's the case, you could develop a similar, but of course better resource and solicit the very same sites for links. As we mentioned before, if you want to go to Yahoo, in the command line, you can just put link in front of the URL you wish to spy on. On the results screen, you'll be able to specify whether you want to exclude links from the site itself and whether or not you'd like to view the total number of incoming links for the entire domain. Unfortunately, viewable results are limited to 1,000 sites. The same command will also work on Google and MSN, but Google search doesn't exactly give complete results. MSNs appear to be complete, but they don't offer the option to include or exclude external links. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you use common sense. Common sense is probably the most critical thing. Even though there are dozens of fancy tools you can use to evaluate your competition, you can't forget to do a common sense evaluation. Just focus on the site as though you were a customer, thinking about which features would appeal to you and what would confuse you or turn you off to the site. For even more telling results, grab a couple of friends and have them do the same. Stand by as they check out the site and click their way all the way through to the shopping cart. Try not to offer any tips or suggestions, but if you see them struggling or hesitating, do ask what's slowing them down. This method works especially well if you can find someone who isn't very tech savvy. With a little bit of snooping, you can save yourself hundreds or even thousands of dollars in both time and money. Never forget that someone else has probably already been where you are now, and the hard-won knowledge from their experimentation is readily available to anyone who knows how to look for it. In summary, the key on the internet is to duplicate, not reinvent. There are plenty of tools available that can show you the blueprint your competitors follow. Mimic what they're doing right and avoid what they're doing wrong. Success on the internet is not rocket science. Use common sense and use the tools available to you to take the shortcut to the top. Remember to keep your prices fair and your website clear, and the buyers will come. The next tutorial we're going to discuss is going to be talking about how to actually get your website laid out on paper and how to create your game plan for getting your website designed. So we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.